Okay, another day, another dollar, another flash flood, rainstorm, picking up the C63, Had a problem with the front radiators. So, the heat exchangers on both sides. One of them was leaking and cracked. And what was happening was it was making the transmission overheat. So I had that fixed. And I'll give you guys a little bit of a rundown of what happened. So anytime I would drive the car, the temperature for the vehicle, 1 second, let me just turn this thing on. All right, so what would happen is, right there. So you see the temperature right there, 31 degrees Celsius on the left. That's the transmission temperature. And it's supposed to stay on a regular basis around 85 to like 89, 90 Celsius on an average, even a little bit lower. What was happening was this number, let me just focus the camera. This number kept climbing and climbing and climbing. And it climbed to a point, and 120 Celsius is where it would say your transmission overheating, pull over. You don't want to ever get to that point. So I, on a hot day, experienced that, and I realized that the temperature, I didn't even realize before, but the temperature was climbing very slowly. So what would happen is it would climb like 1-2 degrees Celsius every like 5 minutes. So if you were to take this car on a long drive over an hour in like hot traffic or stop and go traffic, the transmission would just start heating. And it's because the C63 has from what the mechanic said, is a low side and the high side. And the high side, there's two coolant reservoirs. There's one in the middle, there's one at the side. And yeah, unfortunately the one in the middle was never staying topped up because it was leaking through the low side system. So I was able to get the new heat exchanger installed with 2 radiator guards on each side from Benz. Apparently they make that now. So let's see if that works and if it's good. And I'll give you guys an update on how the car's doing. And I'm gonna go for my first drive after picking it up and see if the temperature stays stable. All right, guys. This is the problem with the intercooler.
So this is the low temperature circuit, coolant circuit.
Mm-hmm.
These rads are both on the right and left side of the vehicle.
Okay.
So here, the white powder, that's your dried up coolant.
Okay.
So when they sit in the front of the car, they're pretty exposed.
Okay.
To the elements. So you got like a lot of dirt, stuff.
Yeah,
like
like
more
just
coolant.
stuff stuck, just basically coming out, right?
Right.
Okay.
So yeah, the stuff gathers here at the bottom, corrodes away the radiator, and then they start to leak.
Okay.
They're also exposed to rocks.
Okay.
So we installed the on the front the rad.
Okay.
There's a grill protector here, so you'll see.
Okay, and that's new now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
So you'll see on both sides.
Okay.
You'll see like a black grill over both rads.
Okay, awesome.
All right.
Yeah, hopefully that helps. And as I said, the intercooler was making the transmission overheat, so we were able to replace it. But yeah, this is how it looks, guys. This is unfortunately the state after these things get mangled up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm glad to have the car back now. So thanks, I really appreciate it.
Anytime.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just drive the car for the first 10-15 minutes to let the temperature get up to normal operating temperature, and then I'm gonna push it in Sport Plus. And the reason why is because I want the temperature or I want the transmission to do work, so I can find out if there's no more leaks. I mean, there shouldn't be any more leaks, but I always love to check. I love to check once work's done, so I don't have to experience the problem like 6 months down the road. And I honestly don't want to spend more money trying to fix the same issue. So there is a rainstorm, so it's going to be a little bit hard to do that, but that's okay. We'll give it a little bit of a shot. Unfortunately, it's a common problem with the C63s and the W205s where the heat exchangers get punctured. So it is what it is. The total cost for the heat exchanger plus the guards plus like tax was around 2,100 Canadian. So I opted out to get the protection for both heat exchangers because they were switching out one anyways, and the other one was not gonna leave bare from the protection. So I told them order protection for both heat exchangers. And he's a specialized Mercedes tech. So there's a process involved with draining these cars and their coolants. There's some sort of electronic procedure you have to go through. It's not as simple as just plugging in a car. So that's why I took it to him. He specializes in European vehicles, and their shop's name is Rogue Motorsports. And yeah, so they did the work, and he's been good for all the specialized stuff. So yeah, let's see how it goes. I mean, it's at 41 Celsius. Before it was peaking at almost like 95, 100 on an average basis. So I hope not to see the temperature that high. So let's see if it does go that high. I don't know. All right, so a little bit of an update after about 45 minutes of driving. Temperatures at 75 Celsius. By now, before, the temperature would be around like 87, 88, sometimes 90. So it's definitely, I don't know if it's because of the rainy weather, but I don't think so. So yeah, I think the car is definitely keeping cool, and well, the transmission is keeping a lot cooler. And what I was told was, a lot of C63s, the W205, there's a lot of people that don't even realize that the front heat exchanger is punctured or leaking. And it's because on an average they drive about 20 minutes one way, 20 minutes another way home, park the car, and the car cools down. You really find out if the car is overheating if it's like a 30 degrees Celsius plus day and you're stuck in traffic, and that's where your cooling system has to do a lot of work. Or if you're in Sport Plus mode and you're seeing if the car, you know, is keeping cool with the transmission shifts being aggressive. So what I learned from this experience was that I might have been driving the car for a little while not even knowing it was leaking, because the reputation of the car, how it's driven is work back, park 8 hours usually at work, and by the 8 hours your car cools down. And so after it cools down, you don't even realize it because your car is cold again, and by the time you get home it's cold again. So as I said, if anyone that has a W205 C63, try driving your car hard, try driving your car in the heat for about an hour plus, and if your temperature is going up above 90 Celsius, 100 Celsius, whatever that is in Fahrenheit, I'll put in the YouTube the video itself, but you need to get your heat exchanger checked out. And the reason why it's so important is because if your temperature is consistently that high in your transmission, at a certain point the transmission oil starts to boil, and it can fry your clutch. It can fry the clutch packs, the transmission inside. So you don't want to be doing that, because a transmission job versus a heat exchanger job is completely different. And I learned that on a personal basis, I guess you could say. So yeah, 77. I'm in stop and go traffic right now. I'm it's literally just stop and go. And then I've been on the highway. I have like about an hour and 45-minute drive today. So yeah, 77. I mean, it's been great. As I said, this is in Celsius. All right. So you see these grills? This is the old one on the left side, but this is what they added in the middle. And they replaced this side. Is brand new. You see the metal mesh? Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. There you go. That's the new protective screening from Mercedes. And I don't know if they added anything to the middle. No, nothing to the middle. A little dirty, but yeah, on both sides. So overall, it's because of that. To show you guys, just wanted to show you guys what I was talking about. So this is the coolant tank main reservoir, and this one in the middle for me usually was dry. So you see how there's liquid in there now, all the way to the middle. What would happen for me was when I would start the vehicle, it would just get sucked right in because it was leaking, and it was at the bottom of the radiator. So this has to be about middle. So if you see this empty, it means one of your front heat exchangers is leaking. And what I found out from my mechanic was that this is not, it has a little like reserve, so if this is low, it does suck a little bit back to the main reservoir. But this one cools your transmission, I believe something to do with turbo, so it's something to do with like cooling things that aren't like for the AC and whatnot. So as I said, I noticed this was empty all the time, and it does need a little bit of a cleaning, but I'll get that done another time. As I said, it's a daily driver. But yeah, otherwise it's been okay. But as I said, I'm happy that the coolant is now staying in there. And I'm gonna try to figure out if I can get a mesh for the front cooler, which is the next task at hand. But I'm gonna go wash the car up now. I gotta wash the C63, the R8, the Jeep, maybe the M4. I don't know about the M4 yet, but these cars all need a washing, and friend's bike is still here. All right, anyways guys, thank you for joining in for the vlog, and hopefully for any W205 C63 owners, I hope you guys don't encounter the problem, but if you do, now you know that it is the heat exchanger, and that's what the symptoms are of the car leaking. So have a good day. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, and comment, and I'll see you guys in another video.